Got Preston Gant here to talk up some Oklahoma football. Of course, the Sooners go to spring camp here in the next couple of weeks. There were coaching extensions and raises announced about a week ago. Were any messages sent there? Should we draw anything from what was announced?
Yeah, and it comes down to loyalty, right? And if you're a recruit, I look at this and go, okay, so Venables is going to do what it takes to keep his staff together. I'm not just going to commit somewhere and, they're going to fire somebody or these guys are just going to get up and leave, right? I think this whole offseason, recruits got to see loyalty on the Oklahoma side of the football or in terms of coaching. You've seen Jeff Lebby. He was included in a lot of these Alabama rumors, which if you're an Oklahoma fan, you have to be ecstatic about because if your coordinator is being linked to an Alabama job, that's like one of the most prestigious jobs in college football, that's got to tell recruits something. But also sticking behind your guys, even after fans were calling for Ted Roof to be fired, sticking by them and saying no, this is our guy. We're going to stick with him. I think that sets well in recruits' minds because they're a little bit more comfortable knowing that if they're being recruited by that guy, he's likely going to be there or he's not going to be. Sorry, my dog just barked, scared me.
He's fired up for spring training.
Yeah, he's probably hearing somebody at the door. But they're not going to just push these guys out and then they're going to have that turnover when they're committed somewhere. I think as a recruit, that's probably the worst thing ever when you've been committed somewhere and then the guy who recruited you is not there anymore. Because it's like, well, you got to open that recruitment back up and restart that whole process over again. And what recruit wants to do that during their senior season?
Talking up Oklahoma football, we got Preston Gant here. Join him right there on the PG show right here on YouTube. You see his Twitter handle there as well. Do you draw any comparisons between what Ted Roof did last year and what you saw out of Alex Grinch? Because it almost seems, in a sense, I know they're on opposite sides of the ball in regards to their head coach's expertise, but that they both are in a make or break kind of prove me this year.
So I actually kind of feel bad for Grinch out at USC because I felt like he was starting to make some strides here in Norman, although very little. They were, I think, starting to maybe turn a corner because if you looked at it, they were starting to actually get some top tier defensive guys and getting in on those recruitments where they weren't doing that before. And then he goes out to USC where, well, those fans are not patient either. And after what they saw from Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch in Norman, and then that pretty much the same thing coming to USC, they're wanting to turn that over. So I think Grinch will get fired before Ted Roof will. When it comes to Ted Roof, I would be interested to hear exactly from Brent Venables how many plays did Ted Roof call to the point where Brent Venables stepped in? Because was Venables calling almost the entire year? Was Ted Roof just calling primarily those 3 games? And then during the Kansas State game, did Venables try to take over? I want to know exactly where Ted Roof needs to take responsibility for that defense. Maybe Ted Roof just needs to go to coaching linebackers, and I think you've seen a lot of this conversation around well, maybe they just go out and hire a true defensive coordinator, a guy that has done this before, like a Bronco Mendenhall or the guy up at Wisconsin that's coming in here for coaching session, coaching clinic or whatever it is. Maybe you go out and get a guy like that to just call the defense and then let Ted Roof focus on the linebackers. That might be a better niche for him. But I don't know, because I don't feel like we got a clear understanding of who was calling the defense last year. But again, you don't have your guys out there. When you don't have your guys out there, I feel like it's harder to do exactly what you want to do. So I feel like we got to give Ted Roof, we got to give Brent Venables 3 years before we can really be like, all right, something's wrong with this defense. Like something you were doing there is not working here. It's not translating. I feel like USC fans should give Grinch the same time. He's not going to get that time. So it's going to be a make or break. I actually put out a video today talking about how if Lincoln Riley's smart, he should go after Gary Patterson because Gary Patterson stepped down as a special assistant. He wanted to spend more time with his family, but he did not rule out the idea of returning to college football even maybe this season. He just wanted to take a vacation and spend some time with his kids and his wife. And so I was thinking, well, if you're Lincoln Riley, you're in desperation mode. You can keep Grinch and still bring on Gary Patterson. USC will likely make Gary Patterson either one of the highest paid assistants or we'll make him a very handsomely paid coordinator to come out there and help Alex Grinch turn around that defense. And that USC team, they have talent on the defensive side of the ball. Just a matter of bringing somebody in to unlock it. So, yeah, it'd be curious to watch the timeline and the table for both of them. But I think Oklahoma fans will be a little bit more patient with Venables because I think there's a little bit more trust there because he's been so consistent in what he's doing.